Hello everyone, welcome back to my podcast. This is episode 2. I'm so excited for this one because I'm going to be talking all about my experience at the CLI Conservatory. Anyways, let's get into it because we have a whole 10 months to cover and I want to try and give as much detail as possible for those going to cy5 starting in September or anyone who will be attending CLI in the coming years. So I have my notebook clipboard thing here of important dates and just notes that I wanted to mention. So let's get started. Let me get comfy. Also, I'm just gonna preface this by saying everyone has their own experience, so don't expect it to go exactly the way I'm explaining it or I'm telling you about it, because some people might not have had a good experience and others might have had the best experience of their life. If you don't know what CLI is, it's a dance school in Massachusetts and it's a 10-month program. So I moved to Massachusetts for 10 months. We train with some of the best choreographers every single week. We dance 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. And it's in this random small town in Massachusetts, but the cool thing is that everyone comes to you. So you might not be living in LA or New York, but obviously they all come to you. You'll kind of get more of an idea of what it is as we go along the video, because I'll go through specific projects that we worked on or things that we got to do throughout the year. It'll probably make more sense then. First things first, we had move-in day, which was end of August, like into the first few days of September. I think I got there on like August 30th or something. That was the worst few days of my life, not to be dramatic. I did not want to leave my family at all. Like that was very hard for me, and I'm sure for a lot of us it was. I don't know, obviously for some people I'm sure they were excited and I was excited too, but it's just like I was really sad to leave my family and my home, and also like the routine that I had built for myself at home was so great my senior year and into the summer that I just like did not want to have to start all over. Obviously anything new is uncomfortable, and that was just really an uncomfortable time. I think I moved in on like the Saturday or something. We didn't start till the Wednesday. I just remember telling my dad, like, once we start I know I'll be fine, but these days in between that we're just literally doing nothing, I'm just like sitting there and I'm alone, not alone, but like I'm just like with my thoughts and like thinking about how much I miss home and how much I miss my family and living with them, that I'm like going crazy, you know? But once we start on that Wednesday, I know like I'll be fine because I have a distraction, and that's obviously dance. That's exactly what happened. Like I was completely fine when I started on Wednesday. I mean, not completely fine, I was still a little sad, but I was just distracted. The thing I've like realized a lot this year is like it's hard to miss people when you're constantly keeping yourself busy and you're constantly distracted. I obviously miss my family a lot, but I think they miss me a lot more, or like my mom did, because she had a lot of time to just like sit with it, and for me I was always go go go, and I didn't really have a lot of time to process how I felt and what I was actually feeling and thinking. So I don't know, I feel like when I'm busy I don't realize how much time goes by. I'm like, oh, it's been 4 weeks since I talked to this person or whatever, but I'm like, it feels like 2 days. So time really goes by fast, but also so slow in the moment there, so that's a thing. Then the first day, I was literally gonna poop myself the whole car ride to the studio. The first day I was so scared, as I'm sure a lot of us were. I obviously was excited, but I think I was way more shy than I am now, so that was especially scary because I was like, how am I gonna meet people? Like, I'm so awkward, I'm so shy, I'm so quiet, no one's gonna come up to me, and I can't go up to people. But it ended up being fine. Like, I think in a dance setting, I'm completely different. I'm able to go up to people because dancers just like understand each other, and I can be like a social butterfly somehow in those settings. But really anywhere else, I'm like this, like, you know, I don't know. I don't really know if that makes sense. End of the week, we went to like this park where that was the first time all 240 of us were together, and I just remember it was the craziest thing ever because we all were standing in this circle in the middle of like the field in the park. I have like a video of like all of us there, and when I look back at that and I like spot someone, I'm like, oh my god, they look so different, because like I didn't know that version of them, but now I know them, and it's like a completely different thing of what I made up in my head first time I met them, which is so weird. I don't know, now that I know people, it's like I know different versions of them, and when I first met them, it's not what I expected at all. Like, it's just crazy how you get, I don't know, it's just crazy how you get to know people. The first month was the hardest on my body for sure. I can easily say that, and I'm sure a lot of other people would say that too. It was like really training heavy and really technique based heavy, I would say, but that's like what we all needed. Just strictly training for like the first almost 2 months, I would say, September into October, and that was basically the whole time we were with our first group. Honestly, for me, the whole first semester just felt so new. It didn't feel like home yet until like the middle-ish of second semester, and I didn't feel like I knew everyone until that point as well. Like early second semester, I guess. When I think back to that time, like it was so great, but I'm also like, second semester was so much better because like I had friends and I had people that I could turn to in any group I was put with. We actually had a community built because we all knew each other at that point. Like first semester, it was so new. Like I did not know anyone like the whole first semester. Every day I was seeing people, I was like, I didn't even know you went to CLI, and like it was no offense, like obviously it was nothing bad, but like that just had to do with like not being in the same group as them or not being at the same building as them, because that's also another thing that I want to talk about, which I guess I'll just talk about it now. Every single year of CLI is gonna be different, so what I'm telling you, if you're listening as a cy5 dancer, it's gonna be probably totally different from how it actually is gonna be for you guys, but this is how it was for us. Like for example, CY3, the year before me, did not have 2 studios. Well, no years before me. CY1, CY2, CY3 did not have 2 buildings. CY4 did, and we didn't know that until we got there. But yeah, like just like stuff like that. We have had the most people so far. Obviously, I'm sure it'll keep growing. So don't base everything off of what I tell you, because also they're learning with you. Like they're only in their 4th year, and so they're gonna change things, like the way they do things, the way maybe they don't do some things, because they're learning what is working best for them, you know? So I don't remember the exact date, but we had our first media day a few weeks in, I think. I don't even really know. And that is when you basically do a photo shoot, like a quick little photo shoot. They kind of told us about like backdrops and things like last minute, which is how a lot of things also there are. So you have to be ready to like think on your toes, be quick. That's just like also the reality of how it is sometimes, so it's fine. And then you would get to film 2 combos of your choosing out of the 4 that they give you as options. And we would do that in the black box. And I remember the first time I went in the black box for media day specifically, I was literally like in awe. Like I had never seen anything like that. Like the production team at CLI is literally crazy. They're like my favorite people. I love how passionate they are. I love how passionate everyone is on the team at CLI, but like production, like they know what they're doing, like, and it's just so good. Like the lighting, camera, like Steadicam, like ooh, it's just so good. And I literally felt like I was on like a set the first time I walked in. Like the lighting is crazy. They have like fog machines, and it literally also just like a black box, so it looks really cool. But I was in awe the first time I went in, and it was crazy. That was such a good experience. We had, I don't know how many media days we had total, like 5? I don't know. But you do get a lot of content from those to post on your social media, and also like the photo shoots and stuff like that. Also, we have careers classes, which is where we learn all those things about like Instagram and posting and your brand and stuff like that. End of October, we had our second group change, which in the moment didn't feel that it didn't feel that soon. It felt like a lot of time had gone by, but looking back, I'm like, wow, we were only with our first group for like not even 2 whole months, you know? That second group change was when we went into black box filming, which was a really great experience. I'll talk about that in a second. But our first day being in our second group was when rehearsals for that started. So it was very weird to go into like a totally different setting, like a totally different group energy, and just work on something as big as like a film, you know? It wasn't weird, but it was hard to get used to. Like, we just had to jump right into it, and it was crazy because I felt like I was just getting to know or like getting close with the people in my first group. So it was sad, but it was fine. All right, I'm turning on the air for a little bit at least because I'm getting really hot. And also, sorry if you can hear like my engine. I hope not. I hope the air also isn't too loud. But yeah, I felt like I was just getting to know my first group, and it was kind of sad like to leave them, but I did enjoy every group that I was in, so I was happy with that. But moving into my second group, first day together was rehearsals. We jumped right in. I think we actually had like a few classes in the morning, but basically we jumped right into rehearsals. And we got to work with Andrew, which was really exciting. That was honestly a highlight of my time at CLI. I loved working with Andrew, and he also brought Leah with him, which love both of them so much. Like, they're some of my favorite people that I've ever worked with, and I love the way the film turned out. Like, it was so great. My roommate Brecht was in that group with me, so that was exciting because I didn't have any of my roommates in the first group. I don't really exactly remember how it went, but I think we had 3 days of rehearsal, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then maybe also some on Thursday, and we also had tech that day. That was like us blocking it with the camera, like in the black box, seeing everything, how it was gonna look on actual camera. And then the next day on Friday we filmed, I believe. I don't know. I don't remember when this was, but they debuted like all the films to us first in the black box on like the projector screen, and that was one of the coolest things ever. All the videos are insane, and seeing all them and all your friends and all the people that you know like on screen on a film for the first time was really crazy. We had a lot of experiences similar to that, like more throughout the year, but that was the first time I feel like I had seen a lot of the people dance, because if you're not in the same group with them, then you never really get to see what they can do, which sucks, or like see them, you know? And also being just like at different buildings, we didn't really get to see people a lot, which like sucked. But also I love building B, like the new building that they built. It's insane. Like, I just love it so much. A little bit after that, into November, was when we got sent our mentorship assignments and who our mentors for the year were gonna be. Just to name a few, we had Robert Green, Jaquivas, Teresa Stone, Ashley Cruz, Sienna Lyon. My mentor was Brian Nicholson, which I wanted them so bad. I'm so happy I got to work with them throughout the year. I really wanted Brian, and I got that, so let's freaking go. But my roommates Ava and Brecht also got Brian, so that was cool that we all got to share that little mentorship experience together. I don't know how it's gonna work for the next few years, but for us, we were required to have 2 one-on-one sessions, one in person, one on Zoom. Both of mine ended up being in person just because they came more than once to conservatory, which was cool because I don't like doing Zoom, to be honest. And then 2 group sessions, so there was 20 to each mentor, because there's 12 mentors and there's 240 of us, so I believe there was 20. We did have our first one on Zoom, and then we actually got really lucky. Brian was kind enough to let us have like multiple in-person ones, and sometimes we would learn like tour choreo or award show choreo from Ariana Grande's performances, and that's kind of what we would do in our mentorship stuff. And sometimes we would just sit there and talk, kind of get some info. We got to see a lot of behind the scenes stuff. I don't really know how to explain, but we just got to see a lot of stuff that most people don't. I know a lot of other mentors just never had them dance in group settings, and they just talked, got to know them, obviously mentored them, gave them advice, stuff like that. So it really just depended, but yeah, it was sick. Love the experience. Really grateful for it, and now I feel like I have someone that I can lean on or talk to or ask for advice once I get out to LA, and even now. I'm really grateful that CLI did that. Thank you, Claire. And then we went into Thanksgiving break. I don't really need to talk about that. Like, it's just Thanksgiving break. Great. We had like a week off or something. And then coming back in December, we had student showcase prep and student showcase. So how that worked was there was 6 groups total for CY4, and there was about 40 in each group. So we got 3 student choreographers for each group, and they set a piece on us, and then we performed it in the black box and live streamed it for all of our parents and friends to see. And so we had a few weeks of rehearsals learning all the pieces, and then we had obviously the show. And that was really cool because it gave us an opportunity to work with students that I've like literally never even worked with before or talked to, just because I haven't been in their group or, you know, other circumstances, because there's a lot of people, so it's hard to talk to everyone, it's hard to meet everyone. But that was cool because they got to meet us, and we also got to meet them in their process, and everyone did really great with it. Seeing your peers create stuff on your other peers is a really cool thing. Yeah, it was great. They put mood boards together for us. That was a really great time, and that was also the end to semester 1. So student showcase show day was the last day before break, and I literally cried. I sobbed, not because I was sad, like I wanted to go home, obviously I needed a break. It was like, I don't know how to explain it, but the experience of student showcase was just so like heartwarming, or it just made me realize how grateful I am to be here and how lucky I am, truthfully, to be in a space with people who are so passionate. That's one of my favorite things ever, is when people are passionate about something, and everyone at CLI is clearly passionate about something, whether that be all the dancers because we love to dance, or the people on the team because they're so good at their job. And I love people who are good at their job because it clearly means that they're passionate and that they took time, and that they do take time to just perfect their craft. Like, oh, I love people who are disciplined and who are hardworking. Like, I don't know, I'm getting so passionate about this, but I love people who are passionate. Like, I love it. And that's what I saw that day. Like, really, like, I saw so many people that I had never seen dance before, honestly, just because there's so many of us, like I keep saying. It was just a really great feeling to kind of dance all together. And that's also what I miss from my studio, is rehearsals and like working on pieces for comp and dancing all together. And dancing as a unit, like not only for yourself, but you know, for like a team or for a bigger thing than just yourself. And I think I was just crying because I was so grateful. Like, I remember just being like, telling everyone that I saw, I was like, I'm so grateful for you. Honestly, like, it wouldn't be CY4 without the people, you know? Everyone made it what it is. So I was just really grateful that everyone was willing to share their just love for dance. And yeah, I don't know, I'm just a really grateful person, and really sentimental too. So when something's like coming to an end, I just get really sad. And it wasn't even coming to an end, but I just remember thinking, how am I gonna do this at the end of the year and leave all of you if I'm this sad or this much of a wreck at the end of semester 1? Like, we still have a whole 6 months to go, you know? But that was semester 1. It was great, honestly. Loved it. I feel like that was probably the point of the most growth for me, because I had to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And not even like uncomfortable in a bad way, but just kind of the fear of the unknown and out of my comfort zone. So I guess, like, yeah, uncomfortable, but it was never a bad thing. And I think it's really good to get out of your comfort zone, because you don't want to just be comfortable, because then you won't grow. And I think it's really good to experience new things, because that's where you grow the most, I think. But yeah, semester 1, I just felt like so out of my comfort zone all the time, and that's probably where the most growth happened, because in order to grow, you need to be comfortable being uncomfortable and get out of your comfort zone. And that's also something I learned. Alright, then coming back January something, 12th or something, that was start of semester 2. We got put into new groups, and me and my roommate Lily, who I shared a room with, Coob, we got put in the same group, and we were actually with each other for the rest of the year, which was insane. So we got the whole second semester together, which I'm so grateful for. I love her, my ride or die. We had photo shoots for headshots and full body shots for like when agencies and audition season comes. Over winter break, we had to craft up a mood board and things basically for our photo shoot and stuff. I had a good experience with my photo shoot. It's kind of fast paced because you have to narrow it down to one headshot and one body shot that you like that is going to be edited and be like the final edit. You get all the photos back, but you have to be like, oh, I like that one, oh, I don't like that one, and then I would have like 8 to choose from, and then I would have to narrow it down to like 5 and then 3, and then I have to pick the one, which is like hard because it was a quick process. We got a lot of experience like taking photos for media days. I've also had a lot of practice at that just from my studio and just like me just liking to take pictures. And then soon after our photo shoot, we had our first mock audition, which was just with Claire, our careers coach, and Teddy. I remember it was like, for our group specifically, it was around Grammys time, I believe. Like obviously a fake scenario, but we're booking for Sabrina Carpenter Grammys performance. Like rehearsals start in 2 days and the performance is this weekend or whatever. And we're looking for 4 people or something like that. Like I don't know, it was just a scenario like that. And it was a combo we had learned a few weeks prior from someone that had come in, and so we'd been practicing it, like we knew the combo. We also did an across the floor technique section, so I put on my Laducas, which that was the worst part for me. That always is the worst part. We also had like a score sheet, so they like scored us on our outfits. I was like, I have no idea what to wear. Ended up being fine because I did book it, which is great. I honestly was not expecting that at all, but I was really going for it because I knew I would be disappointed in myself if I didn't book it, especially if I held back and felt like there was something I could have done. So that was cool. Like that felt good, you know, but also it didn't mean anything because I didn't book anything real. That was just a random one-off like mock audition because we actually had mock audition season, which was in April. Yeah, it was kind of random. And then starting in February, I think we started learning our end of year show pieces. Each group got to do 3 pieces. So I worked with Jaw Collective, Greg Chakis, and Ashley Cruz for my pieces, and that was also with the same group we had been with. We kind of learned them really early on, in my opinion, like February, and the show is end of June. I didn't feel like we needed that much time, but each piece we had rehearsals for a week, like learning it, and then we also had more cleaning sessions all throughout June. So we had a lot of rehearsal for it, but just learning it, only we had a whole week. I don't really have much to say. Like that kind of goes without saying. Like it was just rehearsal and learning. I had good experiences. Oh my god, I forgot I had a poppy. And also another thing that we kind of had sprinkled throughout the year was track weeks. So what that is you got to pick which track you wanted to do. So the options were theater, concert, or commercial. I think the first time we had 2 weeks of it, and I picked commercial both times. But I know another time was when we were learning our creative films, and we had 4 weeks of it, but you only got to do 3 because the 1 week you were doing your creative film. So for that one, I think I did 1 concert, 1 commercial, and then 1 theater. Because I was like, why not change it up? Like, I feel like the program is heavily commercial based, so I was like, why not get other training? You know, I'll just do it all, you know. And it was great. I'm glad I did. Oh, we also had a teaching week, so we had a full week where people came in and taught us how to be teachers, basically, which was cool because I never really have had anything like that, and it also inspired me to want to teach more and kind of how to like market yourself in that way and just stuff like that. So that was cool. Eventually we got into creative films. So the first group had theirs, and I was doing a concert track that week, and then the second group had theirs, and I was doing the commercial track that week. That was also, I remember it so well because I vlogged it, but I did not post it because it was one of the worst weeks of CLI for me. Nothing against any of the choreographers that came or anything that week. It was just the week before spring break, and the winter was so brutal. Like it always is so brutal for me, but it was even worse because not that I go outside a lot in the winter, but The fact that we didn't see sunlight at all, really, because we were inside all day, and then by the time we left the studio it was pitch black. But yeah, barely any hours of sunlight. And like, I do go outside sometimes in the winter. Like, I just bundle up, but like, I'll go for a walk because I just like being outside. And I'm from a cold state in the winter. I get, like, it gets pretty cold and it snows. If you're not from one of those states, just prepare yourself. Get a snow brush, get a coat, maybe some boots. You will have to scrape your car off in the morning, so make sure to leave time for that. And yeah, it's brutal, I'm not gonna lie. Especially if you're from a state that doesn't get snow and you're not used to winter. Like, some of my friends had never even seen snow. Anyways, yeah, so that was the worst week for me, I think, of CLI, because I was so ready to have a break, and it was also a really hard week. Like, it was an intense week with the choreographers that came in, and I was going on a trip. That was when we went to Hawaii, like the next week after that for spring break. So I think I was just like so badly wanting it to be break, and I just could not do it anymore. And that week in Hawaii was really nice. So we came back and I had my creative film the third week. So it was right when we came back from Hawaii. It was great. I got to work with Candace Brown. It was honestly a great experience. Also, I forgot to mention, for our creative films, I think we had about 60 in each film because there was 4 only. So there wasn't 6 films, there was 4. So there was 60 instead of the normal 40. We filmed at, I think it was like a brewery. But our week was so chill. Honestly, I really like how our film turned out. It's kind of funny. There's some humor in it, and I think it's cute. And the leads did really well in it, in my opinion. And then the 4th week was Chris Scott Creative Film Week, and everyone in CY4 got to be in that film. Like, so I got to be in 2. But Chris Scott, if you don't know, he did Wicked. So he worked on Wicked, which is sick because then he got to work with us. Like, what? But his film is literally, I'm not kidding, it's a short film, it's a movie. It's literally insane. I don't know how long it is, but it's definitely way longer than all the other films. It tells a story, there's acting, there's dancing, there's speaking parts. I literally cried the first time, actually probably the first 3 times I watched it, but oh my god, it's so good. And I think from an outside perspective, it's different. But when you know the kids that are in it, and you know the amount of work that was put into that film, every film had only 1 day of shooting, so like of filming. But that film, I believe they like had camera and were shooting for 3 days, and they also had like 9 to 9 days sometimes. Like, we went to a school for some days and we were there super late. We didn't have to do as much as like the core 60 had to do. Seeing them like act in the way they did, like, it looked so real, and it was funny, but there was also like heart touching moments, and there was a message behind it too, and it was just so, it was so good. I can't honestly get over it. And I think a lot of things are different when you know the people in it, because it's like, wow, I'm so proud of them, you know? Like, I can't believe they did that. That's like insane. But if you don't know them, it might not be like as much of a impact on you, I guess. And I also felt that with Student Showcase, there would be pieces that I loved, but it also helped that I knew the person and I knew that they were like a really good person. So I love when like good people also can create really good art and create really good work. So a piece that might be my favorite maybe wasn't my mom's favorite, but it also is all about perspective, and like when you know the people, things do change a lot, I feel like. This might be a long episode, which I'm happy about. But eventually, after creative films, we got into mock audition and audition season. The hardest part for me, and I think a lot of others at CLI, and it was like 2 months. So it was like constantly living in fight or flight for specifically those 2 months, but kind of like the whole conservatory year, but specifically those 2 months. Mock auditions went really well for me. I booked a lot of them. We had like 5 commercial audition, like mock auditions, and then 1 like cruise ship audition. And I know cruise is not what I want to do, so obviously I still like tried my hardest in that mock audition and also in the real ones, but I just knew that like isn't really what I want, so I didn't focus on that. I wasn't hoping to even get booked because I don't want to go on a cruise. Like, I just didn't want that, you know? And that's also another thing. Like, if you don't want that, then like own that and stay true to that, because there's gonna be a lot of things that, or people that make you feel as if you should want that thing because they want that thing. And just because they want it doesn't mean you want it. Their path is not your path. Just know that. We all have our own path and different ways of doing things. And I just know that a cruise is not for me. Like, I don't want to be on a boat. I also get seasick, so I don't believe that's for me. Either way, I don't want to do that. So just pick your battles. Just pick what's right. Pick your path. You know what you want. Just don't let others influence that, because it might not actually be what you want. Like, people are freaking out about the cruise ship auditions, and I'm like, oh shoot, maybe I should be freaking out about it. But then I really thought to myself, I'm like, you don't want that. Why would I have to freak out about a cruise ship audition when that's something I don't even want to book, you know? Just know what you want and stay true to that, or at least figure that out if you don't know what you want. But most of us do know what we want. We just don't want to admit it. We think it might be too hard to achieve. But you know what you want, for the most part. But anyways, mock auditions actually went really well for me. So we had like 5 commercial ones, like I said, and I think I booked 3 of those, 3 out of 5. And they did that same as like the other mock audition that I had booked. It was like, okay, we're casting 4 guys and 4 girls, or 6 guys, 4 girls, whatever it was. We'd gotten sent like a breakdown of what we needed to wear, what we were auditioning for. One of them was like a Bad Bunny thing, and we had to wear all black, so I had to craft up a nice all black outfit, nothing too basic, like something that fit the vibe. And that's what we got for all those auditions. So yeah, those went really well for me, and I like really tried on those, because those also kind of mattered a lot to me, because some of those were getting me in callback rooms for agencies, because each choreographer that came in that ran the mock audition was representing an agency, and the agency auditions in May. Not everyone gets to go to those. At least that's how it was for us. Those are like callback rounds. So I think booking those mock auditions kind of ensured that I was in those rooms for callbacks, which I'm really grateful to myself that I pushed through those, because mock auditions were hard. But I think at that point I was kind of burnt out, and that's when like the real auditions were starting in May, and I was like already burnt out. Like, we had done 3 weeks of mock auditions, and I was going for blood in all of them, you know, and then I was like burnt out. And also having to do your hair and makeup every single day, like audition ready, like not just like normal, like, okay, I'm gonna do a little bit of natural makeup, like audition ready, is so draining and so tiring. So just pace yourself when it gets to that point, I guess, because it's hard. Like, it gets really hard. But also something I didn't talk about is agency scouting that happened a week in February, and agencies came in 1 each day that week, and that was also where they were looking for people for the callback round, which is when the real auditions happened. So I didn't feel great about what happened for me that week, so I really tried to go for it in the mock auditions to make sure that I was in those rooms when the agencies were actually looking for people. So yeah, just know that not everyone gets to go to the agency callbacks. Also, another reason why audition season is so hard is because people are booking things, which is great for them. And I'm obviously so happy for everyone that did, because also they were booking things that I just didn't want, like cruise ships. But that also made me feel like, oh shoot, maybe I should have tried harder in a cruise ship audition, because now they're like gonna be making money and I'm not, or whatever, or they're gonna be on a cruise, and I'm like, no, what do you think? Like, I don't want to do a cruise just because they're booking it. Like, I felt almost like not left out, but you know, I just kind of felt self-conscious, or like, oh shoot, they're better than me because they booked this or whatever. And so that's also a really hard thing when people start booking stuff and this person got a contract and oh my god, they signed with this and blah blah blah. Like, it gets really frustrating and really hard. Even if it was something that I didn't want, for some reason it made me feel like I wanted it, because I think I just wanted to book something, you know. But a lot of the things, like I said, I didn't even want. It's like, it's not that deep. As long as you're doing your part and you're working hard, something will come for you eventually. Maybe now just isn't my time. Things will work out as long as you have work ethic, okay? Because I was also like getting frustrated because maybe someone who doesn't show up to dance and maybe doesn't have work ethic, not to sound shady, but maybe they were the people booking it. And then everyone was getting frustrated. That's also what happens. Some people that you think maybe shouldn't book things are booking things. And there's nothing you can do about it. All you can do is just keep showing up for yourself, because eventually it's gonna come back and bite them in the butt. And most of the time it was people who actually do deserve it and stuff. But when you do see someone who you're like, oh, they barely show up to dance, or they're like always sitting out, it's really frustrating, because you're like, what? Like, what did I do to not deserve that? I didn't book anything. I'm just gonna be honest, which is fine. Because like I said, most of the things I didn't want to book, really the only thing that I would want is an agency, but it's obviously hard to get signed. And also, I just feel like I kind of lost my sense of self there, and I don't know. I learned a lot of things that I would definitely do differently now. Maybe like what I wear, how I decide to stand out, how I decide to audition, because a lot of the things, it's so hard to have your own self when you're just like in such a tight, close-knit community. And I feel like a lot of the decisions I would make about what I wear or like what I do would be like dependent on other people, because I don't know. It just was like so hard to just be yourself there, because also it's like everyone copies everyone kind of, like, in a way. Yeah, and we all look the same, and then it's like you're not standing out. There's 30 other people wearing red. But we live and we learn, because that's how it's gonna be. So you just have to find ways that make you you. And then in June we got into end of year rehearsals. We had a lot of weeks of rehearsing, so I felt ready for the show. We also had a Martha week, so we got to do our own student-led creative film, which was really cool, because I also got to be on the behind the scenes part of that. So I made a vlog for the week and behind the scenes content, which was really cool, because I love being on the other side of things just as much as I love dancing and being in front of the camera. I love being behind it, like, you know, and just showing the process of things for other people. I did make and edit a vlog, and I've had it done for a really long time, but I just don't know if I can post it. The video that we made, like the dance film, hasn't even come out yet, so I don't know if I should be posting the behind the scenes. So yeah, I want to post it on my YouTube eventually one day, and I hope I can, because it's literally all done. Martha is my favorite part of CLI, I'm not gonna lie. I learned so much from her. If you're lucky enough to work with her, just know it's a blessing, and just try and take as much in as possible, because she's so knowledgeable and she has a lot to say and a lot of good stuff that you can take in. I really am grateful for her, all of her guidance and everything she taught us this year. And then after that is when we got into rehearsals, so sorry for my order is off a little bit. Yeah, then we went into rehearsals. Those are kind of hard just because I felt like we had a lot of rehearsal, and I felt like we just had a lot of time. So I was also just kind of done with the program. I was just kind of burnt out a little, and I wanted to go home, even though I ended up staying for another month anyways. Then we had some rehearsal days in the theater that we were performing in, and then eventually we had the show. So we had 2 show days, and honestly, leaving, I was like really heartbroken, like a little more than I thought, honestly, which was kind of crazy, because I knew I was gonna be sad, but I was a wreck. I cried so many times that weekend. I made myself like sick. I feel like I had a headache every time I cried. I was so puffy, and I knew that I wasn't really gonna miss the place, like as in Massachusetts, but I knew I would miss the studio. I love the studios, are so beautiful. I knew I would miss the people, and overall just CLI in general, because they create a really great environment in my opinion, and some people choose to look at it differently, but I do really think it's one of the best things that could have happened to me, and I would do it over again, and I'm so glad I did it, so I definitely recommend it 1000%. But yeah, I think I was just really more crying out of gratitude that I got to experience it, and that I got to be in the space with like-minded people for the most part, and passionate people just like me. Yeah, but also the fact that I was gonna miss everyone. But also what I've realized is I don't really miss people. I don't know. But also now it seems so dramatic, because I'm like, I'm totally fine now, And obviously, yes, like, I miss my friends, but I also don't miss people as much as others do. I don't know how to explain that. I just think I have, like, faith in our friendship and in our connection that I know it'll be completely fine once we're together again. The hardest part for me is saying goodbye, so that was honestly really hard to leave my friends and say goodbye. Once that's over, that's it. Like, that's the hardest part. And then I'm so distracted or something, and it's like I don't really miss people. And that sounds so bad to say. It's not that I don't miss people, but I don't know. I just think, like, saying goodbye is the hardest part, and then it's like you're fine. So yeah, it just seems so dramatic, but like I was really upset and sad because also some of the people I won't really see again, and also the thing that I know is like the people that I want to stay close with, I will. Like, if I want to have a connection and a friendship with you, like, I'll make an effort to eventually see you again. Like, I know I'll see you again, and that's the thing that kind of reassured me leaving my friends. I'm like, I know that I'm gonna see you guys again, so I don't need to be so upset, but I definitely was. But that's how I feel now that I'm home and I'm okay. And then I went home for a week, and then I came back for 4 more weeks to work the summer intensive, which was one of the best experiences of my life. I feel so inspired by the kids that came in every single week. I feel so inspired by the choreographers, like, to teach, and also just being on the other side of things. Like, I was allowed in the staff room. Like, that's crazy, you know? Just things that I never would have done before if I was just a regular, like, conservatory student. And I got to assist choreographers, I got to work the front desk, which got a little boring at sometimes, obviously, but I'm really glad I did it. I met so many of the kids that came in, and I feel, just like I said, so inspired by them. And I don't really teach that often, but I definitely feel so inspired to now, and I want to so badly now. Also, seeing the way that the people I assisted, seeing their process, the way they think about things, because I got to work on a lot of music videos, like black box films with them, so seeing how they think and like the way that they choose certain people, what draws their attention, stuff like that, and even just the simple stuff of like, oh, what combo should we do today? Like, I'm trying to figure out what combo would be best for this group, like how they base things off different levels and just stuff like that. And I don't know, I just feel so inspired, and I'm so glad I did it. And that, I also cried when I left. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I cried to my like boss or whatever. Like, I cried. And I was like, I'm really grateful, like, thank you so much. I literally was crying to Teddy as he was about to leave for his vacation. I was like, I don't even know what to say, because if I start talking, like, I'm gonna start crying. But just know I'm so grateful, and like, I really hope to be back here again soon, and I hope that's true. Like, that's one of my goals. I really want to come back and like assist or just something. I think that kind of covered a lot, but I guess like some advice is just try as best as you can to stay true to yourself and true to your own values. Just stick to your own, because there's a lot of people, and with that comes a lot of thoughts and opinions and voices. And it's hard to stand 10 toes down on what you believe in, but if you do that, you'll be undeniable, because you're so undeniably you and just like authentic. That also comes with what you wear, what you say, how you act, what you do, how you eat, how you take care of yourself. And if you just stay true to yourself, I promise you the process will be a lot easier. Don't let people make you believe in things or think things that you don't believe or think. So that's my biggest piece of advice, I would say. And that's my recap of CY4. I hope that covered basically everything. I try my best, and good luck to CY5 and beyond. It's honestly one of the best experiences ever, so just take as much in as possible, write as much down as you can. My camera's about to die, but thanks for watching episode 2 of the podcast. I'll see you guys next week, Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern time for episode 3. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Bye!